I'm gonna hug my prop. A lot of fun hours spent behind this prop.
But it's time for a change.
That's what today's mission is. Heading to Hartzell, a swap for the steel shank version of the same prop that I have, which is the Raptor, I think is what it's called. It was one of the early ones when I got it 5 years ago. It's crazy, this airplane's been flying for 5 years. Just got over 500 hours on the airframe now. So yeah, 500 hours on that prop, and it's been great. Lots of aerobatics, awesome performance. It's been a lot of fun flying this thing.
So let's talk about why people would choose one or the other.
Okay, so they're kind of two big factors. We offer a lot of different propellers because a lot of people have a lot of different missions, even for the same aircraft.
So the first test will be, do I feel it when I add power? Is there any P factor or torque?
With the installation complete, I did a thorough test flight to check the differences.
Another hammer.
And of course, tested the full performance envelope before heading home with the new prop. This episode covers insights about modern propeller options and a bit of a deep dive into how the constant speed governor and hub works. I'll share the key parts of the post-install test flight at the end, but initially we'll focus on what I filmed at the Hartzell Service Center hangar, intercut with the flight behind the original prop to get there.
So this is one of the reasons why I fly IFR even on beautiful days, because I'm blind. The sun is right in my face. And plus it's kind of hazy out there, so why not go IFR? Perfect excuse to do it. We're on the way to Hartzell, and it's bittersweet if this is the last flight with this prop. It's been an awesome prop. The only downside really has been that it's light, and this airplane, after paint, got tail heavy. We gained 34 pounds with paint, and it moved the CG back almost a whole inch, and I only had like 4 to play with, so.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, contact Buffalo approach 121.0.
1210, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha. Buffalo approach, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, level 8000.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, Buffalo approach. Erie altimeter 3018.
3018, thanks. So the problem is if I have a heavy passenger and full bags and full fuel, which I need to keep the CG forward, I will burn myself into aft CG by about 2.5 hours, which has been fine, but I'd rather have more of a margin because I do come in very tail heavy after burning myself that far back. And the airplane feels pretty weird when it's like right there on the edge of the aft CG, like it's pitchy. And I feel like I have less rudder authority because the arm for the tail weight is so big. So as a tail dragger, it's not fun to fly it when it's aft CG. So changing the prop to the steel shank version should give me that bit of weight on the nose. I don't expect any other performance differences, but I'm definitely gonna fly the heck out of it if I can before I leave the factory, just to get a fresh impression of it. I'll do some acro if I can and see if it feels the same during a hammerhead and things like that, where the weight might be different in terms of the torque and so on. So we'll see how much different it is, but fundamentally there's nothing wrong with this prop. Like, I love it. It's just light, and I think for a lot of people that's what they want. In my case, it was just a downside because I also have an EarthX battery, so I lost firewall forward weight because of that as well.
All right, thank you for once again hosting me out here.
Of course, happy to have you.
So this was a bit of an adventure today. I guess working backwards, the goal for me was to move the CG forward.
Yeah.
And the good news is we did. We got ourselves a whole whopping 1/3 of an inch.
Which doesn't sound like much, but with such a small center of gravity window, it's a significant move.
Does it feel much heavier?
A little bit.
So the shanks go like what, this far into the blade or something?
Oh no, on the Raptors you can't see the shank there down here.
Oh, it's that close to the hub. Okay.
Yeah, on the traditional ones you can see part of the shank actually coming out of the hub. Right out there.
Yeah.
But this system you don't see them at all.
And to confirm, these are the same carbon fiber blades, it's just the shanks that are different.
Comparing the aluminum shank version to the stainless shank version, there are two primary differences. One is the weight. Aluminum is a lot lighter than stainless, so the stainless adds some weight to the propeller, roughly 6 to 8 pounds, depending on the individual propeller. The other reason is that the stainless has a higher fatigue capability than the aluminum does. That's not to say that the aluminum version is unsafe or that there's a problem with it. There are limits to every system, and we know that the stainless has a higher limit than the aluminum does.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha contact, Columbus approach on. It's going to be 134.45, 3445.
13445, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha. Just when I was thinking about it. That's cool, we're on the same page. Alright, next traffic. Columbus. Columbus approach, Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, level 8000.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, Columbus approach, staying altimeter 3016. Let me know when you get the weather.
Yeah, just working on that now. Charlie Golf Alpha.
There's no direct weather information available for my destination, however, ForeFlight as well as the panel is populated with weather info for the surrounding airports via SiriusXM Aviation data.
So it does look like it's going to be a crosswind, so it's 1707 to 15 knot crosswind on 26. And approach is Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha. I've got the weather, can talk about the approach.
Charlie Golf Alpha, roger that. And I missed the last part. You say you're looking for the visual?
I'd like to set up for the RNAV just because the sun is in my eyes, so it'll be a RNAV 26 if able.
RNAV 26. Let me know if you want to go direct to 06 for that.
Yeah, okay, I can start working on that then. Charlie Golf Alpha. So I'm going to load the approach. It'll be the RNAV 26. Transition.
I'm going to let this play out in real time. I make a bit of a mistake here, but I'm curious as to what other instrument pilots would do.
So I'm coming from
Endeavor 5329, contact Cincinnati approach now on 123.87.
Let's do that.
I shouldn't have ignored this hint.
No.
The avionics were trying to help me not make this mistake.
And approach Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha. I'm prepared to go to IMOS for the RNAV 26 into Piqua.
Roger that, be direct IMOS.
Direct IMOS, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha.
Clearly, I'm unsure about this course reversal, and ForeFlight is about to auto-load it.
Load. And activate, I guess. Alright, going direct IMOS. Let's make sure that is what we think it is. Yeah, slight turn.
Stick around for when I get the clearance for the approach to see how it plays out, and there's more details in the description.
Yeah, this is beautiful, but I cannot see a thing out there, so that is definitely why I would fly an approach in a situation like this. Completely blinded.
For me, the airplane has been great for cross country, and then I also fly aerobatics with it. I've gotten pretty serious about that. So I probably put more than 100 hours of pretty serious aerobatics on it, competing and so on.
Yeah, I saw you just got 16th, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Nicely
16th
done.
overall, yeah. My personal best flight, I got 10th, which was pretty cool. It's been great. The airplane has been so much fun for a lot of things. Covers so many things well. It doesn't do everything excellent, but the fact that I can flip the fun switch after I get somewhere, fly aerobatics, and then turn the fun switch back off and then go full IFR mode, which I'm going to do to go home from here and which I did to come here. It's such a great cross-country machine, and the prop has been so smooth, and the performance is amazing. It always amazes people how fast it gets off the ground, because it just goes like it's carbon fiber blades. I guess because the inertia is different than a heavy spinning steel or whatever, aluminum.
Yeah, aluminum.
You get such a bite, like as soon as you go. Like I don't feel that twist or whatever you feel from torque of heavier props.
The other thing that might be worth talking about a little bit is that this is still a normal propeller, like a standard propeller. It's not an aerobatic counterweighted propeller. So we get questions a lot of times of, well, I'm gonna go do aerobatics. Do I need an aerobatic propeller? And that really comes down to what aerobatics you're gonna be doing and how often they're doing. As you're finding, you have a standard normal -1 propeller and you don't run into any issues performing aerobatics at the level that you are performing.
I'm in the sportsman class, so I don't do anything crazy, no tumbles, no tail slides, no snap rolls. So where would you be in a situation where you want the counterbalance?
When you change to a counterweighted prop, what you're doing is you're changing the direction that the prop is operating in. So this is a -1 oil to increase pitch. We call the aerobatic ones a -4, which is oil to decrease pitch. And counterweights pulls it to high pitch. So in those maneuvers where you're likely to lose a little bit of oil pressure or oil supply, your prop is going to tend to underspeed rather than overspeeding. It's those situations where you may be in an attitude that results in that shuttle valve that's pouring the oil back and forth, not delivering the oil you need, either because you're moving too quickly for the valve to keep up, or you're moving so minutely that the shuttle valve doesn't stay in a given position if it's kind of halfway between inverted and positive. So if you're doing a lot of tumbles and a lot of changes in direction where your force vectors are pointing all over the place, or you're going to do kind of lots of long periods of low G type maneuvers, like if you really floated over the top a lot, that's an instance where that valve might start to not keep up with what's happening in the propeller.
All right, let's brief this plate. We're looking at the RNF26 for Piqua. I'm already talking to that frequency for approach. The CTAF is going to be 1230. Let's put that on standby.
Falcon 8 Tango Sierra cross Osary at above 3100, clear for the RNAV 20 and to right, brother.
Minimum's making 1213. And missed this climb, 2700 direct Manu, and it's in there. Manu.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, descend to maintain 6,000.
Descend to maintain 6,000, Charlie Golf Alpha. I get rear lean assist because we're on our way down. Make some mixture in. It'll take the speed. I planned this so I'd be landing just after sunset, so it would be in my eyes while I'm actually landing, so let's see if that works out. Yeah, sunset is 7:12, and it's got me arriving at 7:20, so that should be nice. Still not legal night, but I won't be blinded. I didn't catch it happen, but it obviously loaded the approach that I put in on the panel into ForeFlight because I have them connected, so that's seamless and beautiful. Love it. Alright, let's get back to that plate. I should be on the approach at 2600 at Zalad. And let's just review the runway specs.
Charlie Charlie Golf Alpha, descend to maintain 3,000.
Descend to maintain 3,000, Charlie Golf Alpha. Maybe I'm not going down fast enough for it. Alright. Let's look at the runway specs. 4,000 by 75. Not the hugest runway, but not bad.
In your case, because you have an oil pressure to increase, if you lose oil pressure or have a little burp in oil pressure, it's going to tend to overspeed.
Okay. So, what stops it from going past red line? Like there's a hard stop?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So there is a hard stop. There are two hard stops in any given propeller when we're talking about small recip engines. There's a high pitch and a low pitch. Whether it's a Dash 1 propeller or a Dash 4 propeller, you have the same stops, high pitch and low pitch. It's just which situations do you get to those stops. So in an instance where the prop is not being told what to do because it's not getting oil pressure, something else happens. So in a Dash 1 prop, there's a spring in there, and you've got the aerodynamic forces on the blade and centrifugal forces on the blade. Those all in combination try to take the propeller to low pitch. Your low pitch is set based on a very low flight speed. So you're going to end up with a very high RPM as a result if you have that propeller pitch in a high airspeed situation. It's going to be the finest fixed pitch prop you've ever flown in your life, which is why it's going to tend to overspeed, which is why we have Dash 4 props where instead of going to low pitch, it goes to high pitch. You still have the same centrifugal forces, you still have the same aerodynamic forces, but now we don't have a spring trying to shove us to low pitch, and we have counterweights that are trying to pull us to high pitch. And so when it loses oil, those counterweights try to increase the blade angle, which is going to tend to decrease your RPM rather than the other way around.
Okay, so I haven't seen that ever. The RPM stays where I leave it. It seems pretty reliable. I don't know, my pressure, it does drop a little bit at some of the figures, but it seems like the prop didn't get impacted.
Yeah, well, you're talking about your mains pressure, right? What you're seeing is an engine oil pressure. So the governor is a boost pump, and it's a pretty effective one. So it doesn't really care if it's getting 80 PSI or if it's getting 60 PSI or 40 PSI. A lot of the times, because its capability is above what is necessary, it can take that small diminishment in what is supplied to it in terms of pressure and boost that up to the pressure that's needed for the prop. If you're feeding it 60 PSI in normal flight condition, this is probably running 120 PSI on the prop, and the governor is capable of putting out about north of 300. So you're well within what the pump is capable of doing. It's more when those situations where the oil supply is interrupted, it can't take air and turn it into hydraulic pressure.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha across IMO at or above 3,000, clip the RNAV 26 approach at Piqua.
Okay, cross IMOs at or above 3,000, clear for the RNAV 26 Piqua, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha. So, am I changing frequencies, or? I'm going to make the call because I'm 7 minutes from. Alright, so how am I doing this? I'm going to say monitor, enter, I'm going to swap. So I'm still monitoring him, but now I'm going to talk to them. Let's confirm that is the correct frequency. Yes. Piqua traffic, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, Yellow RV is 7 minutes from starting me RNAV 26 via Amus, which would be about a 10-mile final for 26, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, and Piqua. Alright, I'm going to keep monitoring that, but I'm back to transmitting with him. This is working out nice, though. Sun is not blinding me as much. I was going to go for the descent and put this in approach mode because I got the clearance. Should have done that immediately.
And regarding the course reversal, I should have clarified with ATC if I had clearance to fly this straight in.
Yeah, I'll do the final gums check in a minute. I'm going to leave things, but gas is going to switch tanks to the fullest. Pressure is stable. Fuel over destination is going to be 20, so lots of gas, but should have probably changed tanks a little earlier, just had a more balanced burn, but whatever. Still fine. Send this to the chart. Alright, and then we will bug the mist when we are on the way down, which is 2700. Okay, we're in approach mode, GP is armed. Alright, gas, undercarriage mixture, that's done. Prop to go, switches, let's do landing light. I'm secure. And nobody's on forward. Uncontrolled airport, we're in approach mode, shooting the RNAV. Sunset is working out just as planned. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, sun is down, beautiful. I'm not going to cancel until I actually see the airport. I'll wait till I'm on final, I'll turn the lights on and cancel. I'm going to go to CTAF so I can make that call, say I am 10 mile final. Piqua traffic, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, Yellow RV is just about to turn 10 mile final on the RNAV 26, Piqua, full stop. They can see the airport beacon. Yeah.
Vertical track.
Okay, so we just crossed Amus.
Charlie, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, frequency change approved, and don't forget to cancel the IFR when you can.
Yeah, I was going to wait till I had the airport for sure in sight, and I'll cancel with you most. Yeah, I was going to wait till I had the airport in sight, and I was going to cancel with you most likely. I should be in a minute. Charlie, go pop.
No rush.
Okay, so that was, maybe I caught myself. Okay, we're back on that. So let's see if we can spotlights getting turned on. We are 7 mile final.
The technicians here are amazing to watch. Braden got the prop swap completed within a few hours. Like safety wire at the best of times is a bitch, but doing it there, yeah, that is such a talent. Under normal conditions, the TBO for this propeller is 2,400 hours, but for aerobatics, it's reduced to 1,000. Regardless, I confirmed later that the original prop passed the bench test with no problems.
And then let's talk about maintenance. So I got 500 hours happily on the last prop. It was great. I really didn't need to change it. It was just more for experimentation that we're doing this. Bottom line is it didn't need much. And each time I did that thing where you hook up a grease gun and squirt, it would immediately move out the other side. So it like didn't need much. So it was always good.
Yeah, well, and it's important to note, we tell people, you don't need grease to come out the other side. There's a variety of reasons why grease may not come out the other side. The goal isn't pump grease until it comes out.
I know some mechanics say squirt it until you see it move. I know that's not, you can't just keep pumping. So I think the book says something like 1 ounce or something.
Yeah, 1 fluid ounce. Yep.
So it's a very small amount.
Yep.
But for me, it was a hook it up, start pumping, it would almost immediately move. And that's after 500 hours, so it was great.
Dynamic balance is also something you can do on your own if you've got access to the proper equipment, but I was happy to have the skilled technicians get it done here. Then we put the cowls back on and re-weighed the airplane to update the weight and balance as a final step before test flying. But before that, let's finish this Dusk approach with the old prop. I was doing about 155 knots indicated as I got to the final approach fix, so that's kind of fast.
Now we're screaming. Hard to go down and slow down. And approach Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha has the field in sight. I can cancel IFR and alerting at this time.
Charlie Golf Alpha, thanks. Cancellation for C1A, let's walk V4, frequency change approved. Have a good night.
Good night, Charlie Golf Alpha. I'm going to stop monitoring this.
So I'm curious to hear how many of you guys would have made the mistake of flying this approach as a straight in without the explicit clearance, but ATC didn't seem to care this particular evening.
I was supposed to check my altitude at Zalad, 2800 didn't do it, or 2600 busy, but anyways, things look good, we're lined up. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna kill the autopilot and hand fly now. Piqua traffic, Foxtrot Chocolate Alpha, 3 mile final, 26, full stop, Piqua. Yeah, so I see the lights, they just aren't super strong. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, let's do prop and switches, let's get her done. 1 notch selected. 27 knots up here, that's why I'm getting blown off. Let's see how much that drops as I get closer. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, props, switches, I'm secure. Maybe we'll stick with 1 notch unless we have a crazy crosswind. Still 25, freaking crazy, really? I don't know if I believe that. Not crabbing that much.
I ended up sticking with 1 notch of flaps and doing a bit of a tail low wheel landing here, and it's not often to catch a near perfect landing at dusk, but this was close, so I'm going to stop talking and let you hear it from the wing cam's perspective. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and as promised, coming up are the key moments from the test flight, starting with adding power fairly aggressively for the takeoff here to see if I could notice any feel or performance differences.
No difference.
And just like before, the airplane is off the ground in less than 10 seconds with an impressive climb rate.
Columbus approach, Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha.
Charlie, Foxtrot, Charlie, Golf Alpha, Columbus, go ahead.
Hey there, I just departed Piqua, just to the southeast of the town. Wondering if I could get some flight following for air work between 2 and 5,000.
Sure, no problem. What's your type aircraft for Charlie Golf Alpha, please?
It's a Vans RV-14.
Roger, and where will this photo mission take place?
It's not a photo mission, I'm just doing some air work. Just testing a new prop and doing some aerobatics just to see how it is for hammerheads and so on. So I'm not going to be moving very much, just southeast of the town of Piqua.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, squawk 5305.
5305, Charlie Golf Alpha.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, you're at a contact position reported. Maintain VFR as requested, altimeter at 3023.
3023, and I'll be within a couple miles of this position, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so 2550. Mixers Ridge, pump is off. There's a good hole right there, not over any town. A little more further this way. Okay, hammerhead is the first test. I don't really have a horizon, but I can feel it.
You really need a good upline for this to work, and I wasn't quite on it, so that's why the kick didn't go smoothly.
Maybe not the best over the factory. That felt good.
So my thoughts were that hammerheads and spins were probably the most likely figures to show if there were any changes having a different weight prop because of the gyroscopic effects and big attitude changes for those two figures.
Alright, spin. Probably 45.
For competition, we use 45 uplines as a quick way to slow down for a spin and not cover much ground while doing so. And for competition, recovery from a spin is on a vertical down line.
Another hammer. Wow. Beautiful. Spin to the right.
Spinning to the right is typically harder because you're fighting against the engine rotation, so I was curious to see if the heavier prop would be noticeable doing that.
Blue 65385, turn left heading 330, advise with 8 in sight.
Even after briefing myself to go right, I almost went left here because that's my muscle memory, because it's just so much easier to spin left.
Caution, sink.
Going more to the right.
I'm going to try to recover after exactly 1.5 rotations for this one, just because that's the spin in one of the sequences this season.
Right. 1.5. A little bit over, but I'll take it.
Caution, sink rate.
Five and a half. A little bit on my back. And approach is Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha.
Charlie Foxtrot, Charlie Golf Alpha, go ahead.
Thank you for the help. I'm good to head back to Piqua from here.
Number Charlie Golf Alpha, roger. Radar source service, walk through power frequency, boost here.
Thank you, Charlie Golf Alpha. So the verdict is, I don't feel a difference. Pretty cool.
And I've got a couple more minutes here at the end with some solid insights from Trevor regarding governor and pitch stop setup.
Yeah, I forgot to make note of what I got for static full power RPM, but I'm pretty sure it was what I wanted, like 2650-ish.
Depending on how you've got it set it up, that's going to be driven by the prop low pitch or the governor. You don't want it to be on the governor in that situation. You want it to be on the low pitch stop. So your propeller low pitch stop affects that fixed pitch angle that you get to if you have that failure mode, which is a reason when you're setting up an experimental airplane to maybe make a different choice. We tend to recommend 2650, 2675 as a goal of a maximum RPM. If you're making a certified airplane, you're allowed up to 103% of redline, so over 2700. We recommend below that because it's an indication to you as a pilot that the system is working. And also in that failure mode scenario, it will buy you a little bit. So you could trade some takeoff performance for some additional safety of having a bit of a higher blade angle. You know, if you raise the blade angle, raise the low pitch stop a little bit, that's going to drag your takeoff RPM down. It's going to drag your takeoff performance down a little bit, but you're going to be at a slightly higher angle in that failure mode situation. And that's a choice that you get to make as an experimental builder.
Yeah, so how do I know, again, if it's the governor or the physical stop getting it there?
It's the phase of flight, or you have to do some tracking. So once you're up and away and flying, it's only the governor. The low pitch stop is not in effect. You're up and away from it. You can adjust it and it will make no changes to in flight. You know, if you're at 100 plus knots, you're off of the low pitch stop, guaranteed, unless you've got the thing really cranked in there. So you note it in flight. If you push your knob all the way forward and you're getting something other than 2700 RPM, that's when you adjust the governor high stop. Okay. When you're down on the ground, depending on what the RPM is at and what your in-flight RPM is, that's how you make the decision, or how you know whether or not you're on the low pitch or you're on the governor.
So if I sit there with my brakes on, full power, and I don't see, like if I see 2650, then I know I'm good.
Not necessarily. If you are in flight and you routinely get 2700 and you're on the ground and you see 2650, yeah, you're off of the governor.
Gotcha. Awesome. I think that's everything I just learned stuff. So right on, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Anytime.